Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabans. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So let's get into the show now. So as you guys know, there's been this kind of conversation surrounding who's the league MVP. We even put a poll up about it on our channel where we put, I think we put Luka, SGA, Wemby, and was it Luka, SGA, Wemby, Jaylen Brown, and I think Jokic. I don't remember. But anyway, it's been a pretty tight race. Now, some people are saying that it most likely will go to SGA, which is fine. But I'm like, wait a minute now. What about Victor Wembanyama? Okay, what about this guy? Because what Victor's doing is very damn impressive, and I think he's probably the most impressive guy on this entire list here, and I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, if you look at Victor's age, bro, this is only his third year in the NBA. He's 22 years old. And his Spurs are the number 2 seed in the Western Conference comfortably. They're only 2 games behind the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are the NBA champions in the loss column. They're on a 7-game win streak as we speak. Wemby this year is averaging 24 points in 58 games played, 24 points, 50% field goal shooting, 35% from 3, 81 points, let's say 82% free throw shooting, while getting 11 rebounds, 3 assists, only 2.5 turnovers, 1 steals, and 3.1 blocks with a box plus minus of 10.6. He's the best defensive player of the year already. You can argue he's the most impactful player on a basketball court. I mean, you can legitimately make that argument that he's the most impactful guy in the league. And he's having a stellar year. So Victor was essentially, when I think they asked him about the MVP race, he was like, "Yo, I mean, why shouldn't I be in the runnings for it?" Well, Nick Wright went on the Dan Le Batard show and decided to express his views about his disappointment in Victor Wembanyama campaigning for the MVP award, and he made it known on the Dan Le Batard show. For those of you who didn't see that sound, I want to play it for you now. Take a look at these guys here, and we'll come back and continue on the show. Take a look at that.
How do you feel about Wemby? If he wins the championship this year, he's going to hog many of them, I would assume.
Well, listen, if he wins the championship this year, that is a conversation to be had. I find the Wemby discourse already a little unique in that the press conference he did yesterday or day before yesterday, where he's like, here's my 3-point plan as to why I'm the league MVP, is the type of thing that while I think you, Dan, historically would like from your athletes, most in the media hate stuff like that.
He was asked. He was asked to give his 3 points. Like, it's not like he went up there and volunteered it. He was asked.
No, well, hold on. He volunteered, I believe I'm the MVP. Then he was asked what what his 3 reasons were. And I just don't typically, a 22-year-old who's never won anything explaining to everyone how he's the best player and not why his team is the best, but why he is the best. And typically, the media scolds that. Not with this guy who, since he came into the league, has been telling us about how the Spurs play basketball the right way, there are a lot of characteristics of Wemby's overwhelming arrogance that I tend to like in athletes, you tend to like in athletes, most of the media tends to scold in athletes, and with the 22-year-old French kid, everybody applauds it.
So you heard what Nick Wright had to say. Sounds pretty noble, right? I mean, you don't want to campaign for yourself, this and this and this. But then, if you sit back and think, you realize, wait a minute, Nick Wright is a LeBron guy. He's a fan of a guy that walks around calling himself the king. A guy that in the past called himself the GOAT. For those of y'all who don't remember, take a look at LeBron here calling himself the greatest player of all time, himself.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
For so many reasons.
I was super ecstatic to win one for Cleveland because of the 52-year drought. like I was ecstatic. Like obviously I showed that the first wave of emotion was when y'all everyone saw me crying. Like that was all for 52 years of everything in sports going on in Cleveland. And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time. You know, everybody was just talking how they were the greatest team of all time. Like, they was the greatest team ever assembled. And for us to come back, you know, the way we came back in that fashion, I was like, you did something special.
So you heard LeBron there. You heard LeBron calling himself the GOAT, right? Now here's the kicker. After LeBron called himself the GOAT, do you know what Nick Wright did? He went on FS1 and sat up there and defended LeBron James for calling himself the GOAT, but now finds it annoying that Victor Wembanyama is campaigning to be the league MVP. You can't even make this stuff up. Before we even get into what Nick had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Prize Picks. All right, guys, it's that time of the year. The playoff push is on. Tournament hoops are in full swing, and there's no better way to cash in if you're right on all the clutch buckets and slam dunks than Prize Picks, where it's always good to be right. I finally jumped into their Team Picks feature, and I have no idea why I waited this long. First time I tried it, I was picking game winners and totals on basketball, and I actually came out right on my first one. But even more than that, watching the game just hits different. Every bucket, every run, every late game stop actually meant something. And here's what makes it even better. It's not just individual games. On Prize Picks, you can pick who cuts down the nets, who wins the whole thing, who takes home the MVP, tournament, playoffs, even the international baseball tournament. You can call your own shot on all of it and cash in if you're right. Team Picks are live right now in 35 states. That's California, Texas, Georgia, Washington, and more, all in the same Prize Picks app you already know. Download the Prize Picks apps today and pick your first game winner, spread, or total as the playoff push rolls on, and get $50 in daily fantasy lineups when you play your first $5 lineup when you use code CLNS. That's code CLNS to get $50 in daily fantasy lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks is good to be right. All right, cool. So take a listen to Nick right here, now supporting LeBron, calling himself the GOAT. Take a listen to this guy here.
All right, Nick, you agree with LeBron? Would you look back on that and say that was the moment?
That's the exact moment. And he's exactly right. Because up until that run, LeBron was already, as far as individual statistics, on pace to become probably the greatest individual statistical player ever. It's going to be him, Kareem, and Wilt. Like, that was it. But what he didn't have was the overall team success. And what that Game 7 of that 2016 NBA Finals did was it cemented or put a cap on the greatest 5-year run any basketball player has ever had. Like, here's the 5-year run. He ended the original Big Three in Boston with a 45-15-5 on the road, down 3-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then beat the team that Bart was talking about could have become the Big Three, KD, Russ, and Harden, in the NBA Finals. The next year, his team won 27 straight games. He won not only MVP again for the 4th time, but Game 7 of the NBA Finals, hit the jump shot to seal it in the 37-12 game. The following year, went back to the Finals, averaged 28 a game on 57%, and the guy guarding him got Finals MVP. The next year, went back to the Finals, with his second best player being Matthew Dellavedova, and the guy guarding him won Finals MVP, despite LeBron going 36, 13, and 9 for the NBA Finals. And then that year, down 3-1 against a 73-win team, without home court advantage, with everything stacked against him, he goes 41, 16, and 7, 41, 8, and 11, and then 27, 11, 11 in a game where he hit the free throw to ice the game and had the single greatest defensive play in the history of the sport. That is the best 5-year run in the history of the game, and that run made him the greatest player in the history of the game. It's not... What's up, Bart?
Best 5-year run ever?
Yeah, well, tell me a better 5-year run.
How about MJ from 90 to 98?
Okay, but that's... Here's
Running
the
right, and he took a year off. If he didn't take a year off, he would have won 7 in a row.
Okay, well, so find me the 5 years, Bart.
And let's talk about the assist that he got from the NBA because they suspended Draymond Green. How about that one?
You know, it's a really good point because the game without Draymond, he scored 41 points.
So you heard it there. What exactly are you offended by? you're offended by a guy campaigning for himself, you can't be serious. You campaign for LeBron every single day of the year, and you back him up when he campaigns for himself. Who are we kidding here? Who? And really, Victor is the guy you want to go after? Out of all of the NBA players that are more deserving of being attacked, Victor is the guy you want to go after? Bro, he's the only one bringing back the feeling in the NBA. One of the few. Him, Anthony Edwards, and one of the few guys that's trying to bring back the feeling. The rest of these dudes just out here playing and collecting checks. Son is trying to bring back the feeling. He trying to bring that feeling back. Like, he wants to compete. He wants to whoop dudes' asses on the court. Like, and this the guy you want to be mad at? Being a LeBron James supporter? You support a guy that calls himself a king, but then want to be upset at Victor making his MVP case. Come on, man. Like, enough is enough with these antics, man. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, leave them in the comments, and we catch you guys on the next show. Peace.